This is Andrew Vance, content writer for TRX. You're watching the TRXtv training tip. Let's get started. One of the great benefits of TRXtv is it gives you a glimpse into what's happening on the very cutting edge in the TRX programming lab. This week we're going to take a look at a new idea, the idea of performing exercises directly underneath the anchor point, and some of the advantages this gives you when you're playing with this idea of proximal stability for distal mobility. So we're going to have Christine grab the TRX suspension trainer's handles. They're at about hip height right now. She's going to step so that she's just a little bit in front of the anchor point. And today we're going to take a look at the TRX Split Squat directly underneath the anchor point. So Christine's going to step back and she's going to lower herself down into a split squat movement. And because she has her hands in the TRX suspension trainer's handles and she's almost directly underneath the anchor point, go ahead and stand back up, Christine. She can play with how her body is weighted as she performs this movement. Go ahead and give us another rep, Christine. So right now, if she puts more weight into her hands, she's going to have greater stability in her upper body, and that's going to create greater mobility in her lower body. So the more she loads this movement with her hands, the greater the mobility she can play with in her lower body. So go ahead and stand up again, Christine. Or she can really put her weight into her feet, and that's going to allow her to play with her shoulder mobility by creating stability down in her lower body and her core and her shoulders, and locking her shoulders in with a good strong lat engagement. So this time, Christine, I want you to focus on shoulder mobility. So go ahead and step back and think about really generating stability to allow your shoulders to move a little bit more freely and to get a little more mobility in that area. Go ahead and stand back up. And notice when Christine's going through these reps, she's keeping a strong vertical torso, very turned on, engaged stomach. She has her shoulders locked in with very tight lats that are locking her shoulders down and back. She's keeping a vertical shin. Go ahead and step down. And she's reaching back far enough that she has 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here. Her knee is barely brushing the floor, so she's keeping her entire lower body and all those kinetic chains turned on. And by having the strong, stable upper body, putting a little bit of weight into the TRX suspension trainer's handles, she's able to develop some greater shoulder mobility here with a very simple movement. Go ahead and stand back up. So you can take this idea of performing exercises directly underneath the anchor point, play with how much pressure you're putting into the handles, and then you can work on what area you want to generate mobility in and where you want to have that stability. Thanks for watching the training tip. Be sure to check out the featured movement and weekly sequence and come back next week for more free TRXtv content.